IVM.
Hey everybody, quick request once again, if you could help us out by filling out our survey. It's at ivmpodcast.com/survey. This really helps us talk to advertisers about the kinds of people listening to these shows. Really do appreciate your help, and we're going to be doing a random drawing, and we'll be sending out some IVM swag. Hope you enjoy that.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative. Okay, what a beautiful moment this is, very emotional moment. Unfortunately, I don't have my Hindustani vocalist with me, who normally sings in the background when we have the birth of a nation sort of feeling. Because today is the first time that we are sort of live. I'm going to have to say sort of because of Wi-Fi and third world restrictions so that you don't come after us. But we are live-ish, and I think we've been tampering with this for a long time. We've been tinkering with it in our minds. The great Amit Doshi has been trying to sell this product for the last 2 or 3 years. And we all decided that live is the way to go because ultimately podcasts are going to eat up radio. Yes, you heard it. Radio is going to be eaten up by us. That's our decision. We aggressively attack those guys. So enjoy radio for 6 more months and then you'll never hear of them again.
In a world of masks, you can't see our lips smile. But that's fine, because our eyes smile, our hearts smile, our entire being smiles. And when you hear of ordinary Indians doing extraordinary things, the nation smiles. A happy and beautiful smile. You can catch Smile India with Shifa Maitra every Monday and Wednesday on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from. It's a 5-minute smile.
Meantime, this is our first episode. Let me get the rules out of Amit and Antariksh, aka Silvery, because they know better than me. Guys, what are the rules for our podcast, so to speak?
So our attempt is going to be, we're going to go live at 10 a.m. India time every day, 5 days a week.
That's Mumbai time, not Calcutta time. That's half an hour difference, yeah.
Well, yeah, but, Allahabad time. Let's just say it what it is, right? Or not Allahabad time, sorry, Prayagraj time.
Yogi Adityanath, Zindabad. I got that feeling immediately. Yeah. Went for the middle path.
Yeah, but 10 a.m. every day India time is when we're going to go live. We'll be available. We'll be streaming live on YouTube and Facebook for at least 2 months. As an experiment, this will be available to everybody for free. After 2 months, we're going to be thinking about whether we want to make this a premium feed or something like that. But for the next 2 months, this is going to be available free, the live. The shows themselves will always be free. But what this does do is also leads to a change in how we're going to release stuff. Instead of our 6 a.m. on Monday release, what you're going to see is 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, you'll be seeing episodes come out on the podcasting apps that you do. So a slight change in terms of scheduling. But other than that, it's going to be the same old show, man. It's going to be same fun, same stuff.
Correct.
Same
And when we say, Amit, when we say good morning, they have to not take that seriously. Because that makes no sense sometimes, depending on when you actually
yeah, but I think we always said good morning, and we always said that, right? I mean, we always record in the morning-ish.
A bunch of cheap philosophers who have credibility and validation is not important. What is the people who actually have been, over the years, giving us support, fan base, so to speak. I have lots of the letters here. This is blank because underneath are the real ones. And suggestions are great. Like, live show, fabulous. My suggestion to Cyrus is shut up. And then there's one saying, please wear pants if by mistake you were to stand up. And another thing is let Amit talk more. So, I mean, whatever. The main point is we have people involved and engaged with us. So let's hit it off. Silvery is the producer. Oh, can I say one more thing? Yep. We want to dedicate the first episode to Joe Rogan, our cerebral leader and ganja exponent, of which I have no interest. Let me just say off the bat. So I want to think it's a Desi version of that. So in a sense, we have to call it the Rogan Joe. Then I thought about it and thought about that famous Kashmiri meat, which is the Rogan Josh. So I said, maybe we should call it the Rogan Josh podcast. So that's the AKA alternative name to Cyrus Says, the Rogan Josh podcast. That's in case he gets upset and sues us saying we're using his name. I'm going for Josh, which is a Hindi word. Rogan is also Urdu Kashmiri word, so we're safe. Am I right? Let's talk to legal later in the program.
Yes, let's talk to legal.
Joe Rogan won't mind if we poach some of his listeners. It's all good with
it. he may lose a few from what I gather with all kinds of very hard-hitting views. But we'll copy him. Sanitizer is very important during this season, whatever happens, guys. All right? If you say something you regret, immediately show your sanitizer. I think that'll in the right side of the law. Okay? We are sorry. For example, if I said, I don't like the government for such and such reason, I immediately get this. Okay? That neutralizes the threat immediately. Okay, what's the first topic? Is it the double COVID vaccine available soon? We have 2 for the price of 1?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Yep, correct. Firstly, it's free. is going to be free all over India. That's what Health Minister Dr. Harsh Vardhan
There's my Hindustani
Yeah.
vocalist. I don't know if that's really that free is more like an. I think that's an attempt. I don't think that's going to. Amit, is that going to really happen? Are we just
Well,
line up and get it?
they're saying it as of right now, right? That they're going to provide it for free. I mean, like the question is that a good idea? That's a question right in and of itself. It should be available free, but there should also, I think, be somewhat of a paid tier which would allow for funding of this kind of stuff and would allow for people, I mean, like, dude, it's not that expensive a vaccine, right? It's like all said and done, it's like $2,000 for the vaccine, I think, at most. I mean, like, so
Hey,
does it?
Hey, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. This is all relative. You can't say export. Come on, bro. I'm part of the Chief Brigade of Hindustan, the CBH, and for us, it's very clear. It's a social issue. Then the government is actually saying it's free. But I think there's a reading that we haven't mastered here. The mutual funds are subject to market risk sort of thing at the bottom. For example, the vaccine per se is free, but we'll pay for the syringe. We'll pay for the hand that actually has to inject you. We'll pay for the cleanse, the sanitation that happens, the alcohol swab, all the other things. So I think there'll be more. We'll have to read in between the lines before we actually get a.
No, they're setting up. Yeah, I don't think that's the case, right? From what I read and what I understood, right? They're setting up these kind of vaccination centers, if you will, right? Which are basically 6 people make a center.
Similar to the polio drops thing.
Exactly, similar to that, right? So there are 5 people who are involved in the vaccination process and 1 supervisor, right? To ensure smoothness of functioning and stuff like that. And they're going to be doing this they're going to be setting them up all over the place. Right. So, and I don't think that there is any charge for it at all. I think that you go to the CoWIN app and you register yourself and they give you an appointment on that and you go and do it. But the reason why I suggest like a differentiated kind of this, right, in terms of free, yes, for the vast majority of people who can, but for people who can afford to pay for it, why? I'm a believer that, I mean, like you shouldn't be taking things that you shouldn't need, that you don't need.
Fair enough. You don't want to exploit the country. You believe the country's been very good to you. The government's been great to you. I accept that. My point is we'll pay in other ways. Petrol goes up, diesel goes up, GST goes up, VAT goes up, something else goes up, an extra tax is levied. So don't worry. They'll catch up with us. There's no free lunch in the history. That's not an India thing. In the whole world, there's no free lunch.
You know what the great thing about going live right now is we actually have comments on the YouTube page, and I'm looking at it as we're doing it. And Vivek Chate is clarifying for us that it is only free for COVID warriors, not for everybody.
There you go, Amit Doshi. Get out of the show. Get out of the show. I told you in the beginning, COVID warriors is less than 1% of the population. So you, again, Mr. Malabar Hill and Mr. Valkeshwar and Mr. Pawai from upper middle class families are not going to just stand there and say, hey, Raju, Baju, mere ko jaane do. It's not going to happen like that. We're going to pay. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I looked this up. Initially, even I thought, it's going to be free only for COVID warriors or healthcare workers and people like that. But no, the healthcare minister has clarified, no, it'll be free for everyone for the foreseeable future.
Okay, now listen. And healthcare minister in the state and healthcare minister in the Senate hate each other. So again, I don't know what policy we come under, because what they're doing, saying in Delhi, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be translated exactly word for word back here in Mumbai with the aggression they have between each other. That's one thing. Second is, Amit, I'm a little scared because if we're going to take in every listener's email or text or whatever advice, I'm a little worried because we have no idea who they are. So people are sending us information and we're like, okay, that's it.
I'm being interactive, man. I'm being interactive.
That's fine. So let's suggest that they tell us who they are in terms of not who they are, but like if they have a qualification for the subject in a sense. Like if that was a member of the government or the health ministry or Dr. Harsha Vardhan himself, it would be great. So Dr. Harsha Vardhan, who's an ardent fan, if you're listening, just clarify for us if it's free or not. It's as Amit said, he doesn't exploit the nation. He's willing to be amongst the last 10% to get it. But I personally would like every free vaccine possible. And in fact, I was thinking, why can't you come to the house and give it to us? No, not Dr. Harsha Vardhan personally. I don't want him to come all the way from Delhi to my house. But I'm saying, why can't you make it easier? Like the VMC distributes things all over right now in terms of people who've got it in the buildings, etc. You have sort of infrastructure to do that. So we don't even need a clinic. Come to the building, get the building to stand in one line, whatever a lot of people are, and just get it done. Tuck. I see I've silenced all the critics.
Yeah, what's to say to that?
I'm looking at the logistic. For me, it's a nightmare. The polio clinic is settled, then you have to go there. I'm saying each building will have more discipline in sense of the building controlling the situation, and you get it done faster.
I would be comfortable going and going to my own private healthcare provider and having them do the vaccination.
Let's face it, you like standing in lines and being close to others.
No. I did my doctor. I'd like my doctor to give me the shot, right? I mean,
that's not where it's going. It's going to be a clinic, right? It's going to be a clinic in the area. It's like a mobile clinic.
My guy,
Ask him to
my
come.
doctor is close by. I can just go to his house and
Ask
get
him
it
to
done.
ask him to clarify this for us. What was Vivek? What is the gentleman's name?
I think it was Vivek. Vivek Cheta, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
how can we forget the names of our experts? What kind of show is this? Our panelists.
Vivek Chate.
हमको ये चाहते हैं कि जानकारी अगर उनके पास है तो टकाटक फटाफट अगर he can just help us with this. Is it a mobile clinic? See, look at it, pan India. I don't want to waste time on this one topic, but pan India, how are you going to reach everybody by just, you have to go to them is what I think, to clear everybody. Okay, Amit Doshi, Silvery may go, stand in line, behave themselves. Don't want to take names of certain and say interiors don't have this and that. But I'm saying you may have to go to them, because if you don't get everyone, it's going to be a pointless exercise. It'll just keep going on.
True.
Okay, speaking of pointless exercise, the show has been one so far. We've exhausted this topic. I mean, last word on this. Now that they're saying, I had a newspaper note me, you honestly think, because people have started planning. I spoke to an event company guy who was saying, we'll do these events in June, but by then everyone's vaccine. What's the punt on that? What do you think?
So here's the thing, right? Where is the virus most concentrated? It's concentrated mostly in urban areas. Where is delivery most maximally able to kind of be affected? That's in urban areas as well. I'm very optimistic.
So you're saying go on Amazon and buy your vaccine?
Well, no, I'm just saying that Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Calcutta,
Sounds
Hyderabad.
a bit classist. We'll get where the rich live, and we'll come to you later.
But this is where the biggest
priority. Fair enough.
This is also where it's been, and I'm not saying the rich, right? And these places is typically in the poorer sections of society where the virus has been more devastating, right?
Yep.
Not where there's been more infections. There's been infections across. There's been more devastating in this.
As we've discussed from March, the pattern has been it's the rich person's gift to the poor. We brought it in on planes, etc., from wherever, and then we give it to our help and vendors, etc., and then they living together in shanties or whatever it is. Hate to say that,
close quarters.
Yeah, close quarters, and then boom, it spreads. Silvery that way is lovely. He has 3 houses. One is his girlfriend's, one is his male friends, and one is the parents' house. So you've done a very good job of keeping yourself isolated.
Man, I had the girlfriend's house. We broke up recently.
Yeah, stop. What is the time? How much time left in the show? My God, we got to do this.
We got to do this. We got to get to this.
Yeah, this show really work if you open your heart and let the personal also out. By the way, yesterday was my anniversary. Not mine, our anniversary.
Okay, happy.
I mean, I'm hardly there.
Man. Happy belated anniversary. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't have to say all that crap anyway. Who's there when you have problems in the marriage? The same people who wish you, hey, have a great one. Oh, fuck you. Where are you? And am I allowed to abuse? Too late now.
Yeah, sure, you're allowed.
Okay, it's done. We can't take it back. It's supposed to be live. The first profanity, not from COVID or the government, but from marriage. I'm sad. We don't need an epidemic to destroy our minds. Yeah. I won't go back into that whole messaging. Oh, it's very painful. Really.
You got a lot of anniversary messaging? Or
no, I put Kaustubh put something up on Insta of me just playing around with the wife. No pun intended.
I saw you were on like a swing set or something like that. Yeah.
And then because of that, people who now I don't want to sound arrogant or what is the word, ungracious, but people who hardly know you, they sort of respond. In fact, the people who know you didn't respond. So I'm getting and I'm trying to think who is this person and what is my whole thing is I really invested in my marriage. Because I'll spend 45 minutes discussing it with you right now if you have the guts. I would never wish anyone happy anniversary. It's too personal a thing. You have no idea what's going on. Sometimes the hypocrisy of the whole messaging in these kind of things which involve teams and partners. Oof, ouch, too much. Ugh. All right, sorry. Partners, we stalled here. Silvery, the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Such kasam.
Man, she went back in August of this year. She went back to Indonesia. And then things started happening. It wasn't working out and long distance. So she was like, okay, this is
You've given us nothing except the fact that you were separated by countries.
What does I say? I give you all the masala.
Were you a bad boy? Were you a bad boy?
No, I wasn't. I was good. I was very good. But I asked her the wrong questions sometimes.
Can you be more specific? You're trying to sell a show here?
Man, what do I say, dude? I don't want to give it too much for her, for her sake.
No, without the dignity of the lady will be trampled upon.
Okay, fine. I'm just gonna say it.
All the way.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. One day we hadn't talked all day, so I just texted her at night, "Hey, what's up? Are you avoiding me?" And she goes at 4:00 in the morning, her time. She replies back saying, "No, I've been on a business meeting." And I'm like, "No, you haven't been on a business meeting till 4:00 in the morning." She said, I've been on a business meeting from 11 till 4 in the morning. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. So I just doubted her
chance
saying that.
When you're dealing with other countries that the time zone is all over the place, 10% chance.
No, but I know who she was dealing with. She was dealing with a local person, with
Yeah,
a local restaurant who she was, yeah.
In cricket,
So I don't know what to say.
Hot and bold. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. So poor thing. I don't know if she was telling the truth or not, but whatever. Then
But hey,
she
bro,
was like, I can't do this anymore.
relationship
All this- yeah, exactly. So she broke up the relationship that very next morning via text. So I was like damn pissed, and I've been like crying, all through the night. She was.
आपका उसने बंद किया.
Exactly, dude. The logic is a little weird for sure. But then after the whole thing, so I got pissed, like, oh, what, you just ended just because I'm asking, I want to know what you were doing. That's a little weird. And so she just ended it. And so I wrote like a long message, like very angry, very, I would say even toxic kind of message. Okay, hey, what is this? You shouldn't be doing this and all. And then she got to flip it on me. Okay, oh, said all this stuff, now it's your fault. So now I'm breaking up with you even more. So she had like the best excuse, man. So I'm like pretty heartbroken right now. But
So
that's about
just one piece of advice: a slightly older single guy, a long message is
that's
never
never the right thing.
That's
Never
the
a
worst.
good idea.
That's the worst.
Never a good idea.
Silvery, that's the worst
I know
coach.
now.
He's an older single guy. I mean, what's wrong with you? Can I be a little insensitive for a second? Does that mean she'll stop listening to our podcast because that's one viewer gone? I mean, you should think about it from that angle.
Yeah, I don't know. If it hurts her too much to listen to me talk, then maybe yes.
But when we get the right
I think
guest,
she's probably over me.
but Silvery, when we get the right guest, we got to discuss this relations. The whole world has changed in the last few years, and in this lockdown especially. So where before we said overseas relations won't work, blah blah blah. Now, I mean, through lockdown, it's actually proven that it can work because that's the only way you stay in contact and you actually chat more and communicate more thanks to online and texting and all than you probably would in the flesh. So we need to talk to an expert, a so-called expert. Maybe that same guy, Vivek, could get back to us once he's done with the vaccine and help us with romance as well. Sorry, never get personal. As Amit said, you can't. Why do you put it in black and white like that, bro? That's stupid.
Yeah.
As your lawyer,
a long note is never a good idea.
It's never a good idea. But like, so when it happened, I was just. It happened so suddenly, and I had so many things to say that I was like, I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a shit.
Yes,
I'm just gonna say it. And then immediately after writing all that, I felt really bad. So I wrote it on a keep note. So we had like a common keep note that we used to like share, and we used to like write cute messages on that. So I thought like she won't see it immediately. She'll see it in a few days. So I thought like I have a couple of days to edit this note also. But she saw it within an hour of me writing it. I never thought that would happen. So that was really good. And I was just, dude, I've spent the last 20 days just apologizing my ass off. And it's just not working. Yeah.
So just not to push it because this is your personal life and we shouldn't be toying with it in front of everyone. But do you think she's got somebody?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just this long distance and how.
And why did you get so berserk? What do you think happened at 4 a.m? I'm just being candid here.
Oh man, I don't know. But normally we would talk a lot more during a day. And for the last couple of days before that, she had been.
You had a sense that she's.
I had a sense. Yeah, I had a sense exactly. She's. Maybe not. I'm not gonna say cheating or something. I'm just gonna say that maybe she just didn't want me to.
Interest level at flag because of the distance.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't.
This is the time when you should propose marriage. A woman who doesn't like you is the one you should marry. Always remember that. Great time. You date other girls. You live your life in splendor, and you're married. There's no problem. Always marry the one you don't like and who doesn't like you. 20 years. In the words of Ramsey Brothers. One horror film after another. All right, Amit is
so you know what? I think no. I think this is a good place to take a break. Let's take our break and then we can come back with the let's leave Antariksh's love life on this side of the break.
There you go. His love life is on this and the word break. Look at the puns that you're going on with. You insensitive beyond ouch.
What are some of the radical changes that are now shaping our workspace? With physical distancing and heightened safety protocols being the norm, will technology finally make its large-scale entry to the workspace? Will design as we know it change for the long term? Is it possible for the Indian commercial real estate space to adopt a 360-degree approach to sustainability? Join our hosts at the Future of Space podcast by RMZ as we deliberate with industry leaders, analysts, and bright young minds on the way forward for the workspace given the new COVID normal. Tune in to the IVM Podcasts app or wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
All right, apparently our break, sorry to use that phrase, Silvery, our break is over. So we're back. In a sense, we're not back. But the show is back. And I mean, what do people tell you to make you feel better? Lots of fish in the sea. I remember one Palomine saying, but I'm vegetarian. India is complex. I mean, how do we ever get the culturalisms right? We'll never get it right. Don't even try. Yeah.
Oh, hilarious. All right, let's get to the next topic.
Okay, let's get to
This
some
one is
culture.
this one is a very funny topic. It comes in from Georgia. It says Georgia
Georgia,
bank
America,
robber-
Georgia, Russia. Sorry, Georgia,
Georgia, America. Georgia, America. Yeah.
I was just
Comes from
hoping
Georgia, America.
Central
It
Asia
says,
is
George,
acceptance, huh?
says Georgia bank robber threatens to infect everyone in branch with COVID unless handed over money. He robbed a bank. He goes into a bank without a gun, no weapon at all.
Just coughing. Wow, that's a fabulous idea. I love this guy.
Yeah, great.
Paisa.
So yeah, then he got arrested because nobody bought it. Like, yeah, sure, you're gonna give me COVID. But just the audacity, just to go into a bank, like a highly guarded bank with just COVID. And
Creativity, 90% marks, 95 on 100 for
For
me.
sure.
I really enjoyed it. But there's this,
Also, I think from effectiveness perspective, also highly effective, right?
think earlier on- sorry.
you pass through metal detector and stuff
All
like
that,
that
yeah.
without a problem, right? I mean, like, so you've been able to take your weaponized breath into the facility with no.
Yeah, you're carrying your
no issues
weapon
whatsoever.
without being, it's a concealed weapon literally. But Amit, 5 months back, let's say May, June, April, May, somewhere there, you'd have had a more effective response, I think. Because the fear mongering and the fear, paranoia, and all that was a little more out of control. I think people now take a deep breath and think about what's happening. So it's a little more difficult to push the envelope when it comes to saying, I've got COVID and just run away. However, what if somebody had a vaccine, like the watchman or whatever they call the security guy there? And he said, no, I just had my vaccine, and catches him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a daring idea. It's an
I
interesting
feel
idea.
a
But
continental mind. Is it possible he was from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Nepal?
no, it's not. His name is Crawley. He's a 51-year-old man named something Crawley.
Karoli. It's a Punjabi name, yeah. Karoli is a good advertising filmmaker, very famous.
So the article goes on to say that the suspect did not display a weapon, but stated he had tested positive for COVID-19, and that if the bank did not comply with his demands, he would begin to infect everyone in the branch.
Listen, you guys, please understand it is a weapon, okay? The first time we did a COVID test sometime in September, Kunal and I had to go to a place to do it. I remember because Kunal coughed a lot, my friend Kunal, show a picture please, when they put the earbud in the nose. It's an awkward thing. It does affect your throat. But when he started coughing, the other people in the clinic, they panicked. I mean, it's like a bakra. You have to see the reaction in their eyes. Some moved a little bit, some fell, some covered their face. And because he went for about 2 minutes. So you got to understand, if you hit it at the right time, it's a huge weapon. I'd say it's better than a gun. Because you're attacking everyone in an area at one time with just a cough. It's fabulous.
Yeah. But the problem is
I
that there's no
remember-
immediate danger. No, it'll be like, okay, I'll die in like a week or 2 weeks.
No, if you're
That's
paranoid,
how
you
we
stay
do it.
away
Bank robbery.
paranoid. It's safe.
Yeah, no, you stay away from the person, right? I mean, like, stay away from
The
them, right? So, I
charge-
mean, like, the weapon is distance, right? You're keeping
Yeah.
people at a distance from you.
The only one.
Yeah, exactly. That's the demand also. You're not like everyone go on the ground. No, everyone stay 6 feet away from me. I have COVID.
In an ATM, see, we was subcontinentally done it in an ATM. ATM, it works better. The guy's in a small area, you just jump in with him and you take whatever you get. I think
That's true.
we're giving ideas to people, and our listenership is probably the type who will do this. Where's Vivek? Vivek, where are you? We need more help. We need more feedback. Yeah. All right.
No, we're getting a lot more feedback.
You got
We have like some 40, 50 comments already. I'm
Wow.
quite impressed with this.
What the hell's going on with
Yeah, we have
that?
40 people watching. And,
Yeah.
very good.
But one thing that K.O. Nair has asked us to do, which I think it's not part of Antariksh's this, but I think we should talk about it, is
Yeah.
the bubble breaking in Australia.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I love that story. Yeah, let me quickly give you, I don't know how much time we have, but I want to quickly give you a little bit of perspective. Rohit Sharma, our cricketer, one of our best, one of our finest, spent about 3 months of isolation just before IPL, 2-week camp, and 6 to 7 weeks then after that. Then he came back to India because of injury, had to be isolated before he goes to Bangalore for treatment, then had to come to Mumbai, had to be isolated again, then had to go to Australia later alone because the team had already left, isolated for 14 harsh days, stuck in a room in Sydney. And then he gets out on December 30th, and on the 31st, they go and have lunch together. And then some guy, it has to be a Desi, oh, cricketer, Majan, I love you, and hug, ho gaya.
It was his, that guy was
He was
awesome.
also
man.
Gill.
The guy
His
who
name was
got-
also Gill because Shubham Gill.
Yes, he was a Sardar.
And
He was at the restaurant which they were at. He saw them there. He posted a video. He paid for their bill.
Yeah, paid for that, which,
right? And
by the way, is acceptable. This is the best part. But Amit, I just want to interrupt you for a second, because after that, the BCCI spoke to the management, and the ACB, Australian board, all came together, and Rohit Sharma was isolated again. So he's gone straight back to the room. He had one meal in 4 months. I mean, is that fair? I mean, psychologically, the sport goes into the back window for everyone, and they're all going a little berserk, especially the more popular, talented ones who need to play all forms, etc. They won't be able to cope. It's madness. It's a 5-star hotel jail, which sounds great, but jail is jail. After some time, ask Lalu.
yeah,
He had a 5-star hotel jail for a long time. Lalu Prasad. Yeah, he was under house arrest in the beginning, no? Where he had a gym instructor coming in and all. Apparently, you don't remember those days. They had a badminton court, cricket nets, everything. So, but it was still jail because
he was under house arrest.
Yeah.
You're right. That's right. I
for
forgot
a
about
long time.
that. Wow. That was a fodder scam, no?
Yes, father scam, then the mother scam, and all the other children followed. Although I think his son will be CM one day, very soon, in Bihar. Let's get back away from politics.
No, but this guy got a ton of shit. The guy who posted it,
Yeah, but
the Sardar.
even if you guys are following these stories, Virat and Hardik's had a 2-3-month-old baby last year. He became a father in October or something. And our friend Virat is going to have a baby any moment now. So they went to a store right in the beginning of the tour because to get stuff for their newborn and already born kid. And that store owner, an ethnic Australian lady, she also tweeted, "We had the legends here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's good for business." But the moment that they were in the store, which is outside the bubble, because the bubble is supposed to be in a hotel room, a ground or something like that, no eating elsewhere. There's no question of going to some which sells baby, infant stuff and all that. So obviously, I know, they're human beings and there's only so much they can do. I'm on their side. I just think it's ridiculous. The bio bubble is all very well, but how can you keep human beings locked up?
And but I mean, like it is the challenge that you have if you're running cricket, right? You don't want your people to be falling sick and stuff like that. Like that's a problem in the NFL. In the NBA, it's not been so much a problem because they've been really strict. But in the NFL,
NBA also
the
guy go to the burger restaurant and all that right in the beginning of the lockdown when they just.
So that happened. He went to the strip club. No, that was.
He went to the burger.
Lou Williams.
He went to the strip club for the burger.
For the burger, but no, even right now, again, there have been issues where like Houston had to delay its opening game because one of its players was outside of the bubble for whatever reason, and that led to a delay. But in the NFL, they've had to actually cancel a ton of games because players got sick. A ton of players got sick, right? And so the challenge then is that if you're a league, you're responsible to all your players. So if one guy gets other people sick, you have to shut down, right? So if you want to keep it running, you have to do these things.
Yeah, but it's more Mr. Gill, second Mr. Gill, not Shubnam. It's confusing. It's more his fault. Because how overbearing we are, stars, and we Indians, we Desis go berserk. So he sort of imposed himself, he paid for the bill. Then you feel sort of, I'm just looking at it from all perspectives. And then, you feel a little bad as a cricketer or star or whatever to just say, boss, stay away or whatever. So,
Oh, no, I get that. I feel it's a horrendous situation, right? I mean, like we want this over. I mean, hopefully, as we said, like March.
I don't think they deliberately did anything. I'm saying in the spur of the moment, they just forgot that they should have not, whatever. That's what I'm saying.
I think one more request has come this time from a host on our channel of an excellent show called How to Citizen. Meghnad's on the YouTube live stream, and he asked us if we want to talk a bit about Munawwar's arrest in Indore.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
I do know.
Atrish,
I do know.
You know him
quite well. Yeah.
You want to set up the story a little bit so people?
He was. Munawwar was doing a 31st December show in Indore, and so some people showed up at the show, basically looking to either stop the event or pick a fight or whatever, because they were like, this guy does religious humor, so he will definitely make fun of Hindus and religion. So we will go. The second he does that, we will go up on stage, make a scene, and then get the cops involved in whatever way we deem necessary at the moment. So we went to the show. It did happen. He made the jokes he was going to make, and they went up on stage, made a huge commotion. This guy tried to talk to them for like 10-15 minutes on stage.
Where were the organizers?
The jokes I'm making are not. They were there.
You really think?
But the organizers.
This is not the fault. The comedian or the artist is one half of it. All this is in the purview of the organizers. They have to handle.
The organizers also got arrested. There were like 5 people arrested total.
But they're local guys, yeah.
One of the comedians, and then 4 other people.
Forget the comedian.
One of the other organizers, one of the other comedians. Sorry.
No, see, when you do an event, there's a local unit, right, which is helping you. The local unit also should be having influence. A slightly edgy situation. They must have thought of that.
Well, I'll say this, right? So the person who was the guy pushing this was the son of a BJP MLA. So that leads to power imbalance just generally. Also, I doubt that these were people with that degree of influence, right? It doesn't seem likely to me that it would have been that.
But it's not a BJP state,
right? Yeah, no, it's not a BJP state, but it's still, I mean, like the influence is there now with the BJP.
Okay, so let's get the story for those who don't know what happened. So he gets arrested, as in physically put in a van and taken to a jail.
Physically put in a van and and he's still in jail. He's not
He's still in jail. Bail was denied.
Yeah, bail has been denied. It's a poor guy, man.
So they're going again to court today, but
I'm writing to Rahul Gandhi right now because it's a Congress state and this. I don't have a pen, so I'll just dictate it to my secretary.
That's okay. You can email it to him.
But that's ridiculous. The reason he must have done it is because they know it's not a BJP state, so they can take on the government slightly. I'm just thinking from a practical point of view. You probably won't go to UP and do yogi jokes, I mean, I understand, but you would go to MP and perhaps be a little okay. I don't know what the act is exactly, and this whole thing is. But
I always think look at it this way, that stand-up comedy is for the people in that room. Especially if you're not putting it out, it's for the people in that room.
Correct.
So if out of 100 people, 96 people are having a baller of a time, laughing their asses off, those 4 people should just shut up. If you don't want, don't.
But look,
literally, nobody's telling you to forcing you to watch this show.
Do you think this guy who got on stage and fought, do you think he was there by accident?
No. He particularly was there for.
I think he rehearsed it. Yeah. Every day he came at the same time and pretended to see how he would do it as well.
Absolutely.
So I was just saying, what you're saying assumes a good faith motive in terms of how that is, right? If you're there in an audience, you should shut up, right? But if you're there to create a hassle, then you're going to create a hassle.
Sylvia, you're looking at it from a very evolved point of view. Because, when we watch, say, shows we like or don't like, we sort of put it off when we don't like it. For example, I used to watch fashion TV all the time, waiting to see, a little bit of flesh. And if I didn't get it in 15 minutes, I'd get really angry and throw the remote and all that. And I hate skinny girls. Okay, I hope we don't get any emails about this, but I just can't stand skinny girls because I get distracted and think they're 14-year-old boys in the neighborhood because they sort of have the same figure. So, but you have the choice of putting it off and moving on. That's an evolved thinking. Unfortunately, in India, like Amit says, this is just agenda. So why are we kidding around? In fact, they've rehearsed their act better than our comedians rehearse their acts because they come.
Hey, one second, hold on. Just 1 second. I just one thing. MP is a BJP state, dude. Jyotiraditya and Scindia, he defected, no?
Oh right, they lost power. Is it? Where's our listeners who are supposed to clarify all this for us?
Google
it fast. We only have 2 minutes left. The state's changing hands.
4 of them did. I mean, like, I don't have the live stream up all the time.
You're right.
But 4 of them did.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
exactly, everyone should pay heed to what the Supreme Court said. If you don't like what he's saying, don't go to the show now.
If you see, forget that, right? See, the ability to lay a charge is fine, right? Anybody should be able to lay a charge. Cops should be able to lay a charge. Okay. Yeah. The issue is, why is bail denied over here? What is the assumption that why would bail be denied in this situation?
Hurting religious sentiments, like treason against the nation, is one of those things where people just go to town. Okay, hurting religious sentiments means it's a blanket. It's like Fira, it's like Tada. You can't come back from that.
Yeah, it's anything. No, it's the law that is, I want to get you in trouble, so I'm going to get you in trouble. That's what that law is. So it's a troublesome law in and of itself. But okay, let's leave that aside, right? If there are laws and there are things on the books, police should be able to file cases. But how can bail be denied in a situation like this? What do they think this guy is going to do? Bail is to be denied for, people who are in danger to society. This guy,
if you want to look at it honestly,
they're going to run away.
There are enough politicians and political well-wishers who across the country have made vibrant, may I say, speeches against communities, against castes, against people, subcultures, and nothing happens to them. And they're on record. You can go and check it out. But some silly comedian, okay, silly is not right. He's a sweet guy, I'm sure. He's big in terms of where he stands in India. I mean, why is it affecting everybody? He's just plying his trade and doing his act. I mean, it's obviously agenda-driven. This conversation is just redundant. We shouldn't even have it. We should just accept that we're a quasi-fascist state or maybe more, and that's it. It's really sad that this poor guy does a few jokes, they're probably good ones, and we can't hear them. Or we can hear them, but we have to go to Krakow, Poland, and live there for the rest of our lives.
I don't know if I plug Meghnad show. Meghnad is the one who suggested we talk about Munawar.
Okay.
Yep.
Meghnad has the show on the network called How to Citizen, so please do check that out.
In fact, it was so confusing that now Meghnad has got bail instead of Munawar. All over the place. But let's quickly, a last word on that. If there's anybody listening to our shows now, that is daily and all that, if you can help us with guys like Munawar, let's form a legal union of lawyers who are willing to come and help these guys. Because I'm sure there's some liberal, right-thinking people out there who will understand that the written word and the spoken word should be allowed. That's what democracy is.
Absolutely.
Silvery's gone to sleep. Okay. Silvery, don't worry. You'll find another girl. Huh? Machi bahut hai darya mein.
Okay, cool.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, it's 2021 now. It's time you did. You didn't in 2020. That was bad enough. But now in 2021, you really, really should. It's IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And a quick reminder to everybody, just please help us out with our survey, ivmpodcast.com/survey. We've had a number of you fill it out so far, but we want to shatter last year's number, right? Really, really blow that up. Go fill out the survey over there. If you do, we'll select from the emails that we have got submitted, and we'll be sending out some interesting swag to people. So, what should you be listening to this week? First thing I want to talk about is the unprecedented episode. We did a triple crossover. Vineet Kanabar from Storytellers and Storysellers, Varun Dugirala from Advertising is Dead, and Karthik Nagarajan from the Filter Coffee Podcast all got together and put together a mega episode. Do check it out on whichever of their feeds you want. It's available on all three. On Naan Curry, the guy spoke about the history of alcohol in India. It's got a longer history than people would think. Definitely do check it out. Another show I want to call out this week a little bit is The Note by Maruk Inayat. Maruk had 2 fantastic episodes this week. She did her first episode with Amitabh Mattu about the elections in Kashmir, and then she did another one where she told the story of how she faked her identity to interview Benazir Bhutto. Definitely do check it out. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
All right. The first AMA question comes in from Karan Mehrotra. He says, "Hi Cyrus and team. This is Karan from Minneapolis, USA.
Wow.
Question for Cyrus. I remember seeing. Yeah. So this Cyrus, you've answered kind of before, but he asked like an additional question to that. He says, question for Cyrus. I remember seeing you in an ad with Big B. I think it was a Cadbury Dairy Milk ad. How was it working with him? Because he's such a big star. Is he a difficult person to work with? And then he has one more additional question. He says, which actor or actors have been the worst personalities you've gotten to work with in your time so far? And also, who has been the best? I don't know if you want to take names of the worst.
I will. Amitabh, firstly, I've done 2 ads. With someone like Amitabh Bachchan, you'll remember what you've done. It's not like we work every day.
Course, yeah.
One is a Chyawanprash ad. Don't even whatever. But, but the first ad was a Pepsi ad, Hai Koi Jawab, where I'm this mad nutcase. Hai Koi Jawab was the campaign, and he's Amitabh Bachchan. We're stuck in a lift together. And so the story goes. He was great. I chatted with him, and we had a great time. But I've also done lots of interviews with him, so I had a certain relationship. He's always been really nice to me, so I can't complain. He never returns my calls, but other than that, we're really friendly. And the thing is, he's so intimidating on set that we were stuck in a lift for a long time because, then they would just give us chairs while they relight or whatever. Then we had to talk to each other because nobody will come and talk to him. They're mostly, Sabal, who shot the ad and who's 6'3" himself, the big guy, he brought his mom to meet Amitabh and all that, because, for our generation, it's such a big thing to meet Amitabh Bachchan, which I can't really explain to other people because they see him as this professor on KBC. But for us, he's really larger than life.
It's hard to explain to you. I just saw a picture of that coolie accident when he came outside the hospital. That picture just came across like my this. I can't believe there were like the number of people outside British Hospital.
He was traffic jam every day. Amit Doshi. It was like unbelievable. It was. I think King George V didn't get that kind of accolade when he came.
I went to school right there. Yeah, I was in Green Lawns, so it was right there. So, I mean, like it was this.
I was in Green Lawns.
Yeah, but
I know that.
When he was in hospital, you were in hospital too, coming out of your mother's womb because many years. Anyway, so a lot of people can bitch about big stars, whether it's a Gavaskar, Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, whoever that you meet. My point is only this: what I see with them is to do with their dealing with me and people around us. And I got to give them 10 on 10. I can't tell you that, I heard he's a miser. I heard he destroys careers. Because that ain't good enough, bro. Then I'll become like those guys who attack that Munawar while he's performing. You can't just do that hearsay thing. So I gave him 10 on 10. He was great. And he's so self-deprecating, makes lots of jokes, loves cricket. We hung out. We could have hung out if we were the same age. Well, I'm saying. Great. I remained a fan. I've always been a fan. I've remained a fan. I think for me, this is the greatest performer in the history of India. With due respect to Dilip Kumar and others who followed, I think this is the greatest. I don't think there's any doubt. But again, I'll be biased because I'm an 80s and 90s kid. Now, back to you. What is the second question?
No, that was it. It's talking about actors in general.
So
who are the best actors you worked with?
I had trouble with Govinda once. In terms that he comes really late. And so we had a lot of problems and doesn't understand.
That was a famous problem with Govinda, right?
Take off on his tangent in the interview. Like I was told not to ask him. He had just broken the world record of only one attendance in Lok Sabha. or Rajya Sabha, wherever he was, Lok Sabha, elected rep. And it was in the papers just a week ago everywhere. And they had told me that do not talk to him about politics, even though he's a member of parliament, just a movie partner or whatever the movie was. And he was very nice and all that, but I couldn't resist asking a question at the end, where I asked him a little bit about, sir, आप तो मंत्री बन गया, तो आप बताओ कि परिस्थिति क्या है? You know, my toothy hard Hindi words I put in. And he looked at me and he started crying. And I didn't know how to react because it came from, again, left field, no idea where that came from. And then he talked about bijli nahi hai, roti nahi hai, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai, logo ki situation itni bekar hai. He just ranted about how poor India is, but it was disconnected from his, conversation that we had before that. And then I could see Magesh, my cameraman, because we were in a trailer shooting, and his shoulder was moving with the laughter. And I said, if I make eye contact, then, I make eye contact with him or the sound guy, who may have been Rasul Prokoti, no less, I'm going to die. And this guy's going to get really offended. So it was a disconnected conversation. And in any case, with a person like me, so disconnected was I go all over the place, as you notice from these shows. But yeah. And after he left, I remember how we all just burst out because no one understood what the hell he was talking about. And of course, the manager said, "Sir, मैंने बोला ना मंत्री के बारे में ये politics के बारे में कुछ मत पूछिए." And I said, "But sir, एक ही सवाल, छोटे सवाल." And that सवाल answer was 17 minutes about the poverty. It was like such a great film, verbally told. Okay, sorry.
There was I remember on one of our earlier episodes, we had Aditya Motwane on. He had a great story about Govinda as well. He was talking about like
you seen the fight?
No, he was supposed to be at some event, and then he decided not to show up at that event. And then Aditya spoke to Smita Thakre, and he was at the event 20 minutes later. It was some like weird, amazing, bizarre story.
This is his late Latif stories and all these excuses and the bahanas that used to follow. I mean, it's just legendary. This whole thing about sir is in bath and all, it comes from him. The Bollywood normal excuse, they have a hierarchy of excuses. The number one excuse is, sir, abhi snan kar raha hai, baad mein phone karo. But that snan goes on from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, really. Ram, Tere Ganga Mehli, I remember Mandakini's one waterfall sequence that probably is in everybody's house. A waterfall. Yeah, it's beautiful. But he's a nice guy. It's just that, he's just a little disconnected. We could understand. He's very polite and friendly and all that. Not a problem. Can't complain. Yeah.
I loved him in the Cred ad. He was the very.
See, when they can make fun of themselves, everybody's great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That is true.
Right.
Let's do one more question and then let's wrap.
Yeah, next one comes in from Nishit Chauhan. This is for Amit. He says, "Hey team, this one is for Amit. Why do you think that AOC is overrated? I've heard you say this a couple of times on the past shows."
Because her politics align very closely with the politics of people who are creating most of the media today. Okay, most media is being created. There's some really interesting articles around this that you can find around who is creating media and what kind of thought that leads to, right? Her politics align very closely to that, but they don't align to most people, right? I mean, like she's a freshman congressman who basically has gotten a tremendous
just say it in plain English, Amit. Now I'm confused. What you're saying is she's bizarre?
No, she's not. She's given a lot more importance than she is. She's a rock star. She's not as powerful as she's made out to be.
So your problem is
so one problem is that because of that, her opinions are given weight which they don't deserve in some cases. Some of her things are dumb, right? There has to be a practical sense of what you can and cannot do. And, it's the same thing. She is the left's equivalent of...
Okay, so you don't buy the act, basically.
No, I buy that she's genuine in what she's saying. I just don't think that it's as big a deal as what is being made out to be.
I
buy that she's
American.
I don't think
lots of fresh faces in politics. This is my personal belief. The same old has to shift a little. Both these countries.
We need that in India. We definitely need that, right? I mean, like
maybe we can outsource. Theirs, they take ours.
That would be massively helpful, at least there's work on some sort of policy. Like, there's some umbrella policy over there, right? Over here, there's nothing like that. But I mean, like, we have this problem over here, right? 60-year-old leaders are called young leaders. I mean, like, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Second innings is what, 85?
Yeah.
Relaunch
political
career.
Ludicrous, right? I mean, like, the country is 2/3 under the age of 40. I doubt we have, like,
not proportional.
Yeah, it's insane. It's deference to age that we have as a culture.
Munawar and Silvery should be members of parliament instead of, well, I won't take names, but you know what I mean. You're right.
Yeah.
It's just too much old wood. Again, paradox in terms. Guys, it's been a fabulous podcast. I've really enjoyed myself. It's gone. Before
we end, can we take one quick question from the AMA that the people are asking on the chat?
Right.
Because We have a live session now. Shubham Chaudhary has asked, this is a very, very good question. He says, what do you think is the right ratio of roti and sabzi? I always have a problem with this. If sabzi remains, I've got to get more rotis and vice versa. Please solve this very pressing issue. Thank you.
Yeah. If you're not looking at it from a health point of view, I totally understand. We Indians, you got to have that left hand or right hand, whichever one you use your carbs in properly. You cannot run out of that. I don't think any Indian likes to eat without the full taza hot roti in the hand when they're consuming the meal part. So I totally accept what he's saying. It's happened far too often in a civilized country to allow it. We have to, that's why the old waiters, when you went out and all, they would stand by sort of and look at you like hawks. And they would bring the fresh, especially for like Mughlai cuisine, they would bring it immediately because you and you want to eat it within a few seconds. And then the quality just goes after that. So, I think we got to figure this out. Maybe the health minister, once COVID is sorted out, can look at this as well. How many rotis, how quick and fresh, and, whether it matches the amount of that you're eating it with. It's a fair question. Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like he's asking, what is the right ratio? I have no idea, right? Because I mean, like you're always going to be left with one or the other.
You have to be left with excess roti. If that's the question, it's very clear. You have to finish the main thing, whatever the main cheese is, and you got to have that. But it has to be fresh right till the end. I say even if you bite only 2 pieces and you think what is the rotis left, that's fine because you can always give that to people who are less fortunate than yourself. For me, my parents, for example, that's how I immediately Mom, roti.
Okay.
On that humane note,
I think we should end. And hey, we got 70 people watching us right now. Wow, this is more than I would have ever thought. I'm really glad that you guys are there. And
Joe Rogan,
we'll be back tomorrow.
Joe Rogan got 67, so we're up. We're up with the bet.
No, but we'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Also, please tell people listening if they want to advertise things like their birthdays, talk to someone else, send a message. We're very happy to segue for a second and say, hi, Meenakshi.
You want to propose to someone?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you watch it. You watch it. Another disclaimer for that. Huh? Another disclaimer for that, Mr. Romeo. We can break hearts, not make hearts.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good day. Signing off here. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Whether you're an established sports person or a budding one, or simply a sports enthusiast, join us, Tanvi and Shlok.
We are 2 passionate pro badminton players talking policy, mindset and everything sport.
So tune in to The Millennial Athlete every Monday.
Only on the IVM Podcast Network.
Trust us, it's gonna be lit.
If you love cricket, listen up. The Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast is here for you. Hosted by DJ, Varun and me, Ashwin, we bring a fun, fresh fan's point of view to talking all things cricket. Sometimes it's just the 3 of us, sometimes we have guests, including current and former international cricketers. For new episodes every week, check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast on the IVM app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts.